I think there's a little bit too much experimentation from Sheer Cold to adapt to their opponents, and they squeaked by in the group stage. But hey, if you could beat a team like Oh Yeah that are anti-meta, maybe they can pull through here with their own play style. Now it's the Sigma with the Sojourn at a distance. Will has to be careful of Hybrid getting shot up in the sky there, but these Echo grenades are really gonna hurt Benbest. That's some good burst into them, and Naga will hopefully have the chase down on Will, but so far all of that attention has been into the shield of NKZ.
Yeah, but I mean, look at that too. Like, Will can go get a health pack, come back in, feeling nice and healthy.
Okay, chat.
Was able to get a snipe,
I think Sheer Cold. Oh, actually, I don't know. Team PEPS is actually a good team. First, I think
that Jake and Reinforce wanted after all, but
I think team.
This time it's the battle of DPS.
I want Sheer Cold to win, bro, because chat is voting for Team PEPS.
And they already capped the points, so they've been benefiting from this whole time.
They have, and this is going to buy so much time for Benbest to come back. You have the Sigma, and so like the Sigma versus Orisa here is really interesting because while you have the shield to be able to help protect yourself for these great rotations that we're seeing here from Sheer Cold, the Orisa can just walk in on you. You just go T-pose in front of their face, and there's not really a whole lot that the Sigma can do about that.
At least the Sigma can take pressure really well with cycling the shield and then the Matrix, and KZ has a lot of time on the Sigma, but then as a Sigma, you're not having as much of an impact in the DPS department maybe as compared to Benbest, since PEPS can just play further away and depend on Sojourn. So Exodial against Hybrid, tough matchup. We'll see if they can pull it off. First ults by Team PEPS though, with the Kitsune Rush and the Overclock, forcing Sheer Cold into a corner. No kills, but hey, space created.
Space created, maybe a cap coming through. There's the Overclock from Exodial just to be able to push everybody back and confirm that point capture. So Team PEPS are going to have to regroup to come back into this, but Will's dead. Will was on a flank. Benbest just killed them. That is a 5v4. You've got the advantage here. And as I say that, there goes FD God.
Yeah, the timing of your flanks on Tracer is very important. If your team is not distracting at the front, everyone's going to turn around on the Tracer flanking if there's not a coordinated pinch. And, well, coordinated backhand from Naga, but good response by Strebor. 3 versus 3 on the point, still capped by Sheer Cold. Sound barrier, though, is massive for PEPS to get the extra help they need to take the space and ideally push Sheer Cold off an edge of a cliff, and NKZ is just getting tossed right now, so Team PEPS will take back the point.
Yeah, and that's going to bring us to last fight territory as soon as Sheer Cold do respawn. And that again is like the kind of the issue with the Sigma, is that you could tell it was kind of getting locked in a corner. You only have one direction for that shield to be able to protect you from, and NKZ is going to switch over to the Orisa. I think you called out something really important there, which is the damage output that this Orisa has. So maybe this will give Sheer Cold a little bit more of a fighting chance with the Orisa themselves.
Yeah, Team PEPS just need to not tunnel on the Sigma shield, because then you're just never gonna break through. Gotta find these alternate angles, and Team PEPS relying on that Kitsune Rush to just play front to back. NKZ is dead. PEPS has somehow access to Yoham, and this fight is dead. This round is dead. It's a 5 versus 3, and Sheer Cold can keep overtime burning all they want, but they're all isolated from each other. They can't really come back together to rally one final time, even when reinforcements are staggering in. So both these teams got smashed in the first match, but you love to see Team PEPS bounce back morally, physically, with a great round win, 100-39.
Yeah, and you have to have that mental fortitude. As they were talking about on the desk, like Team PEPS, they have a ton of veterancy on this roster, which may bode well for them to be able to shake off that loss that they just had and come back into this next match super strong. And they were able to do that for this first round. But Sheer Cold, I think we're playing that matchup disadvantage, having the Sigma, and I'd love to be able to see if that Orisa change might be able to swing the tide back into their favor. They also have a little bit of a better echo map, I think, when it comes down to being able to play on gardens, being able to play around the rooftops. But hey,
bro, this shit won't fit, chat. It won't fit.
You have a DPS like Hybrid that's able to lock down the skies as well as those angles.
Ooh, Tracer versus Echo. I would want to challenge Naga on the Tracer. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see how Will just try to play as invisibly as possible, because yes, as soon as you're on the ground, the Tracer is going to be faster than you. So Will has to time his flights, and Naga is going to wait for that bird to descend. Meanwhile, Sheer Cold are taking shelter in Dojo, and NKZ doesn't have armor, and that is the danger zone for Narissa. Is going to be able to regenerate that, is getting all the attention from Yoham, but is quite literally in a corner, getting kicked into by Team PEPS, who can now move forward to the point to cap.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for this Echo to find power if you aren't able to get the setup required to have those focusing beams actually blast down a target. And take a look at this too, like Hybrid is again trying to find all of those angles onto the team. These rotations, they're taking quite a while because what Sheer Cold is looking for here is an opening pick, and Team PEPS are the ones that are playing from that defensive position with this wall.
Ooh,
there's one though.
Sight line for XOD.
Oh, he got back up.
Play on this bridge. Of course, he got teleport from Kiri. He got a slide from Sojourn.
Okay, I locked it. I hope that works.
So Sheer Cold barely
Cake Slapper, approved after 3 months. Three? Is that feast? Appreciate Master Prime. I get buckets, appreciate Master tier 1. Drunk
right?
for 52 months, appreciate it.
TPS battle, then you need XOD.
D to G, appreciate Master Prime sub as well.
You
Wally for 21 months.
You are locking down this
on the hunt for MILFs for 13 months, appreciate it.
Around to behind the team. And that might be able to land a pulse bomb here, or just at least turn the attention of Sheer Cold away from this.
Chat, you guys think he's gonna land a pulse bomb, or you got?
Ideally,
there you see.
Ideal, but XOD is turning out to be that guy for Sheer Cold, getting first blood. Will, though, traded out now 4v4, but a lot of good ults from Sheer Cold and Team PEPS. Who's going to pull the trigger first? All the weight is on Team PEPS' shoulders. Kitsune Rush, first from Team PEPS, and Exodial with the overclock, and the sound barrier from Team PEPS. Everybody's pressing Q at once. Everybody run, but Team PEPS have forced Sheer Cold back, and they're trying to regain that space as best as they can. Will is even going to duplicate, and it's so back and forth. Team PEPS have just spread themselves too thin almost. And
Team PEPS, chat. Team PEPS.
They lost the fight.
Sometimes the
let's see if it works.
The one that wins. Sometimes it's just the later picks, especially when you have a Sojourn that just gets ultra over health. She's also can be very difficult to take down, but XODL's also not.
Okay, chat, you guys ready for the moment of truth?
Those are critical hits. Those are going to be headshots. That's going to be 190 damage to the dome if it's a fully charged railgun. It's enough to be able to delete somebody off of the map. And take a look at this too. This is going to be final fight here for Sheer Cold. If they win this, they've got this round.
And we'll go to our deciding one.
You guys ready?
Sheer Cold barely have control.
I'm gonna wait for the game to finish.
This point. It is all up to NKZ. Took a pretty big javelin to the knee, so he's trying to back away as much as possible. Now Sheer Cold have got it to 99%. Will on the flank. Try not to be too aggressive. He's gonna get booped back. Meanwhile, Team PEPS with the Kitsune Rush have, well, Naga getting chased around. Benbes is trying to support him, and Hybrid is delivering the final blows that maybe can help Team PEPS get ahead in this fight. But it was really Sheer Cold that were ahead this whole time. It's at 99, and Team PEPS have a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job now of locking down the Echo, but what I wonder about for Sheer Cold is, like, can they overpower this sound barrier from FD God? Benbes also has the Terror Surge, so you're able to lock people down with their mobility if you can catch them without those cooldowns. But Yoham has his Kitsune Rush. What a great engagement tool here for this next fight.
Yeah, he's gonna pull the trigger on it. Wow, and Exodial pulled the trigger literally. But Naga at least had a response, had the trade. Team PEPS, sound barrier's gone. Naga's pulse bomb doesn't get the pick, but maybe forces out Will on the duplicate, who goes to the Tracer.
Come on, Sheer Cold. Come on, Sheer Cold. You guys are the underdogs. I want y'all to pop off.
Sound barrier from Strabor later on in this fight, as he pointed out, is such a boon. Team PEPS on the emergency Doomfist pick. Need to keep the overtime wick burning. And it's so back and forth.
Chat, can you stop jinxing my fucking team? Come on, dude.
Last stragglers of Sheer Cold to force it to the final fight.
Team Peps are able to grab it back, but look at how much Sheer Cold had to expend into this fight, and to no avail. That was great target priority there from Team Peps, good target focus, great rotations, and now they may even be able to just win the map here. Cronus is going to have that Kitsune rush online for this next engagement.
All comes down to this last fight, and then KZ has to make space. Goes up to the left, has Yoham by his side, and KZ runs into Benbest. But that shot from Hybrid could have been deadly into NKZ. He does get healed back up. Team Peps feeling control.
I don't think Sheer Cold's taking this, chat. Fuck.
And they surged forward at the perfect time to make the ultimate comeback, and Team Peps take Lijiang Tower. So now Sheer Cold wanted more options.
It's shining
on
the wall right. Nah, bro.
Wasn't gonna be easily won. And
nah, look at this shit.
Was the perfect choice to at least go head to head, literally, against Benbest in that moment.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think that like when it comes down to the damage output too, like we've seen Orisa just be able to start melting people. And
now the fucking blue is just in the corner. That looks hideous. That looks ugly.
Stability when it comes
to
that.
You're not supposed to see the light.
Maybe with the Doomfist, you have the
ability there's more color because it's in the corner. It's daytime. You're not gonna see the fucking color. Oh my god, get me out of here.
Ash. I think
get me out.
Was like one of the very few people still running Ash. Because it's just tough to. She's got a strong arm, but
it's not supposed to look like that. Look at the picture.
Can't go far enough to maybe access.
Oh, it's in the corner.
Like Sojourn. We'll see how that helps, and not as mobile too as Sojourn. She's got strong legs to jump further away. Ash has to rely on her guns, so Sheer Cold still stuck at this choke. Yeah, they take care of the Lucio, but there's a lot of work ahead of them. They do clear Hotel. It's a fantastic job by ExoDL using the dynamite to flush out the rats from the room.
That was a quick fucking take, bro.
From Team Peps.
That was a quick take from fucking Sheer Cold.
Great communication there. You saw the accretion hit the Lucio, and the immediate follow-up to be able to take out a V-God meant that you no longer had mobility to move the Orisa around or even be able to help reposition that flank. And as you called out there, the dynamite from the Ashe is one of the reasons why this hero is so impactful in these team fights. You're sometimes all super clumped up, and even if you're not, like you're bursting down, you are limiting the amount of damage that can come through, or limiting the amount of healing that can come through thanks to the damage passive, and it's a lot of targets at once when you end up exploding the dynamite. So I think great recognition there, and Sheer Cold with the Sigma get to play a little bit more slowly. They get to sort of walk forward rather than having to take these really fast engagements.
Yeah, Sigma doesn't want to play fast at all, you're right. And I like that Will's on the Tracer to just do something better than Echo. That's all I gotta say. Like, you gotta contend against Naga. You can't let this guy let loose, and Will have to keep Naga held back. But speaking of being held back, Sheer Cold having issues getting through this choke. They're going to use the Amp Matrix from Yoham to hopefully get Benbest out of their hair. And that helps ExoDL win the range duel too. And Pulse Bomb, oh, what a turn! And I think Naga with the Pulse Bomb in that case, ExoDL is
I'm actually really surprised they're playing Ashe.
Sheer Cold now wipe them from the cart and move forward.
Yeah, I mean, think about that too with the Ashe bullets. Like, every time you hit a headshot, it's chunk after chunk after chunk. Like, it just has a little bit more potential to be less of like just a sniper, but more of like, it's like Cassidy in the same regard, right? Every time you're hitting a headshot shot, you're chunking down your
headshot shot
time and time again. Sometimes Sojourn doesn't necessarily have that same amount of accuracy, because if you're not hitting those headshots, you're not deleting a target, you're not actually getting a meaningful amount of damage down all the time.
Okay, Sound Barrier and Terra Surge from Benbest. Oh, teleported away, which dropped the Pulse Bomb right on Hybrid, I think. Sheer Cold are in trouble. They don't have supports. They're not even here, so they'll start some trouble later.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so rough. Oh, that's so rough. Yeah, I think, like, you just have to back up at this point. It's been a long time since I've seen something like that. The character's just like, I'm so sorry, you have to take this one to the team, bud. But now, this gives them a little bit of, I think, an opportunity here to just, like, reset up this defense. You're
I'm actually
not
really
super
happy that
worried
we see
about, like,
Ash,
Hybrid
though.
having to come back. I think Sheer Cold as well. They're going to be a little bit slower to get going, which is also nice to buy some time for Team Peps' reinforcements. But it's so slow with the Sigma. You gotta keep up with this momentum and this pressure. But look at this rotation they're taking.
Yeah, they heard you calling them slow, and they said, let's zoom into alleyway. Look for Gravitic Flux. Okay,
I don't know if the flux on the horse is the best though.
And I think they still only grabbed one person. Got Benbest to have health though, but again, it takes a lot to kill an Orisa. Speaking of that, Benbest very low, and that could be what spells the end of Team Peps on this defense for point B. But he's brought right back up thanks to that Kitsune rush, and Team Peps look like they stabilized, but so much burst from Sheer Cold came out. I think ExoDeal went forward to try and help get eyes on Benbest and lost his life in the progress.
Oh.
Overclock at an off angle, Hybrid announces
Oh,
his departure
that's
after
tough,
that,
man.
And Sheer Cold getting real close to point B.
That's
Yeah, I
tough.
think they're just gonna cap it here, but like again, it's an accretion into a chase down from Will on this Tracer that completely shut down that overclock from Hybrid. That is the second point unlocked here for Sheer Cold. They get a chance to try to work their way towards this final checkpoint, and it's some smooth sailing. But NKZ is actually going to switch things up. The Sigma, not so powerful on this third point. You want to try to take these engagements fast, especially because you have 3 minutes on the clock. So Orisa works out really nicely there, especially because Benbest also switched over to the Winston.
Yeah, you can bully the heck out of a Winston with Orisa. Just javelin him out of the bubble. You can actually safely go into the bubble because you're so survivable. You have all of that armor. So great swap out of Sheer Cold. Even the Cassidy, very immobile and not very meta. But what is meta is a pulse bomb to the head. Fantastic job by Will, having a great impact in this match. As Sheer Cold up by 1 forces Benbest back. That has to
Oh, the Pure presents a new tier 1 sub, my friend.
What's even going on back here, but you like that Team Peps are gonna regroup.
Yeah, ExoDeal is actually going to be going over to the Cassidy now too, so you've got the mag grenade potential, maybe just a little bit more chaos here.
It is very chaotic. The sound barriers exchange. Everyone's tussling in a tiny room, but that's where Benbest can get the
I
most
actually don't
DPS
know why
with
they're
the
going a Winston.
And yeah, the Winston is just
like
gonna get shredded. If there's no bubble, if there's not 100% attention on that Winston, he's gonna get bursted. Last minute Kitsune rush from the defense, but the Terra Surge to zone out any staggers touching the cart. Great push out of Sheer Cold with 2 minutes on the board.
Oh, that's like the best Terror Surge we've seen in a couple of weeks. Maybe a little bit set up there for the slam dunk, but nonetheless.
When he got on the cart and used his Orisa ult, dude,
kills
it was like the perfect.
But what a great push there.
What do you
from
call
Sheer
it? Just
Cold.
circle
felt like
around the
such
point for
smooth
whoever
sailing
touch
through that second
dies.
Point, even into the third, like they were just on a roll. And I think a lot of it came down to just the coordination. Like the opening pick that we saw from the accretion into FD God, the opening, the final pick that we saw in point B for the accretion there onto Hybrid. That's how you open up those fights, is just stun locking somebody.
Absolutely.
So valuable.
Yeah, I definitely think the DPS from Sheer Cold put in a lot of work. I think ExoDeal single-handedly won Sheer Cold the first point. Like, taking control of Hotel is such an important power position. Then Yoham helped with the Ant Matrix to break through the main choke. And then, you know, there was some stoppage from Team Peps when it came to point B. But eventually Sheer Cold
I actually really want to know why they're running
using
Ash
that
instead of
alleyway,
Sojourn on this
switching
point.
up their composition. Actually, they swapped up at point C. But it feels like Sheer Cold did a lot of studying in this meta and came in with specific compositions for specific points, and they look more prepared.
They look really prepared. And I think the other thing that's going to make this matchup really interesting to watch is just pay attention to NKC Benbest. How do they get the upper hand on the tank choices? Like, this is now the third hero that we've seen NKZ play. Sigma, Orisa, now it's the Ramatra, and the Ramatra versus the Orisa. This is another one that I feel like we've seen before. Just go in and start punching the Orisa down.
Yeah, but it's tough because the javelin from the Orisa will push the Ramatra back. Ramatra doesn't like a poke war. Yes, he has a shield, but it's fraud watch on that shield tank. He really likes to brawl and throw some left and right hooks, and the Orisa dominates both in close range and long range. So it has to be a really coordinated push out of Sheer Cold. And how about some coordinated shots? You love to see that at ExoDL. Who is going to be able to contest that on the high ground?
CEO, how you doing, my friend? I'm pre-trans with 300 bits. And David, pre-trans with 25 months. What am I doing with my life? What do you mean?
Sheer Cold, hold on.
Being a J3 sub is the fucking best.
They're even going to push up on this a little bit here just to get a little bit more poke as Team PEPS start to move in. That best is half. So if there's any sort of flank that can happen there, you can see Strebor kind of trying to go towards that Orisa, maybe get a little bit of a flank there. It could be a dead tank.
And Naga finds himself out in the open next to a phone booth, and he's trying to call 911. He does recall and get himself back to full. Kitsune Rush and Hybrid eats another pulse bomb for breakfast. Will just has him in the death note at this point. You love to see Will come in and prove that, well, resume, tenure, veteranship, that don't matter. Sheer Cold, they're just scrappy and it's working out.
Sheer Cold has always been kind of scrappy though. Like maybe not some of the cleanest engagements, but they've got a lot of willpower, both figuratively and literally. I didn't realize that because we also have Will the Tracer. But it is nice to see that like Sheer Cold, like they do want this win, despite maybe just kind of going for just the extra little bits and bobbles. Of
no, I know. Give me a second.
The OWCS, they're bringing everything they've got here to this match.
Wow, Naga almost just one-clipped the guy before he reacted, but sound barrier from Team PEPS. Strebor is holding on to it. Sheer Cold
oh, but he got the immortality.
And, well, that's a pretty tanky guy, and the pulse bomb didn't do
much. Chelsea, though.
Sheer
appreciate the massive tank at the subs. Absolutely fucking massive as well. Chat's popping off today.
Push Sheer Cold back, so
Chat's popping off like I do in my ranked games.
In kills, now starting to accumulate that first tick. Will, though, is still kicking, and he's on fire, too, so he'll be able to rejoin the team on the chase.
What do you mean Cap learned?
Spots the rest of the team. FD God is going to go finish what Naga couldn't, apparently, and Team PEPS can push this advantage even more if they want.
That was a good hold by Sheer Cold, though. That was good.
You don't want to overextend, though, right? Because ExoDL is still set up here around the bookstore. Nice defensive position for NKC to take as well with the Ramatra. I am just impressed that Will has another pulse bomb online. Like, it was not only like 30 seconds ago that we saw him land that one onto Team PEPS, and now he's got another one in the bank. This one didn't hit its mark, but you're still, I think, feeling really good about just kind of continuing to see Will put on that pressure there with the pulse and just the tracer.
Yeah, Amp Matrix as soon as Team PEPS want to step out, and there's dynamites raining down. This is not fun for Team PEPS, but hey, they didn't die, so they get to play the game, so it ends up being fun after all. But good timing by Sheer Cold. Just maybe needed to focus down a target to get a kill off that Amp Matrix. Now Team PEPS respond with a Kitsune Rush, forcing Sheer Cold back a few corners, and it's like a chess match between these two.
It's really great recognition on both sides. Just a good disengage here from Team PEPS away from the amplification matrix, and now the rotations as the big flanks start to come through. Ash, though, on that high ground for ExoDL is really shutting down Hybrid's ability to just try to get a good angle onto the team. It's great rotations, and I think Sheer Cold 2 are making this one a pretty big dogfight.
Okay, the Bob is going to be behind Team PEPS. They want to crunch them from the front and the back. It's a pain sandwich, and Team PEPS don't even have a sound barrier to help them. No supports at all, actually. So this is a fantastic place for Sheer Cold to have their defense. Similar to Team PEPS on point B, you can take down a lot of time at this point of the map.
You can. Team PEPS, like you've got the sound barrier here from FD God. You might want to use that a little bit proactively in order to give yourself more staying power. And the nice thing too, from Team PEPS' perspective, is that Sheer Cold, they only have this pulse bomb to work with. If you are quick on your feet, you can dodge it out, and maybe that's exactly what you need. But look at the pace that's getting set here. Everybody's just kind of swarming them from the get-go.
Yeah, FD God's dancing around. He's like, where did that pulse bomb go? Having flashbacks, but a well-timed Suzu from Cronus came in to save them. Team PEPS have a huge ult advantage. They really got to press this, but Sheer Cold disengaging is so smart. You don't want to take any risks.
Christmas of 8 months.
You want to see if you can depend on the sound barrier from Strebor to absorb some of the blunt.
Gotta get that immortality. Yeah, once that immortality comes out, oh, you gotta pulse. He can still pulse. He can still pulse. He can still pulse.
Wait,
not like that though.
Nothing to save Sheer Cold. shield, and you're barely able to use that amp matrix when there's a tracer where the sun don't shine. Team Peps though overcommitting.
There is not a J3 pulse bomb, bro. I'd land my pulse bombs in tournaments, chat. I don't care what you guys say.
Right. He is hungry for that point B. Team Peps want to ignore this Ramacho shield and access the real threats in this backline. 23 seconds. Team Peps may not be able to afford a full reset, and they gotta make that decision quick.
Yeah, I mean, Hybrid's just got to power slide out of there, because if he does get staggered, that is for sure what's going to happen. Jen, you spelled it out right there. Even Ben Best has to come back on the Doomfist, because otherwise they're not going to be able to get back to this card in time. What a commit of ultimates, not able to get anything done. It's all on this overclock.
Okay, I thought we
Where
were
are the
gonna
kills?
have your C9 counter. Well, let's look at the kill count first. And wow, this Tracer already harassing Hybrid, who needs to stay focused to finish off these targets. Ben Best is on the emergency Doomfist, which may not be super helpful. And then the Exodeal Bob is that extra man on the field. Sheer cold.
All I'm saying is that I'm rooting for sheer cold because chat's Team Peps, and it's a tie fucking game, bro. I think loser's done, by the way, chat.
Sheer cold. Like,
loser's done.
Really, it feels like it's a little bit better in those closer knit quarters where King's Row, you have very few opportunities to take those angles, and that power slide is just not doing you any favors to actually move away and try to grab a new angle. But Coliseo, a little bit more open, maybe a little bit more versatile in that department.
Yeah, it's a bit trickier with on this map to play Tracer, because you have to take these long routes around, and maybe
what? Team Peps is running the Symmetra. Ooh, interesting. With the Mauga.
Mauga alert. Mauga alert.
Why?
We got a Mauga on our team. We also have a Symmetra that's staying. So, like,
He's
Symmetra...
bald? Where is Mauga's hair? Bald buff alert. Anyway, Team Peps are gonna play fast, aggressive, and loose. Team Peps relying on the old and true, you know? If the old...
Yo, what the fuck, bro?
What they were running before didn't work, maybe this will.
Hey, I mean, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Jake said he didn't mind this. The damage output of Mauga is still pretty effective. And you'll see that too, even just with the overrun. It's a nice stun to be able to make some space for the team.
Team Peps not winning the DPS duel right now, and now that Hybrid is missing, Naga hopes to maybe help the team leave the situation. Actually, he's just gonna go down with the ship. And
hey, I'm glad that fucking Mauga died. Fuck that character.
Well, again, off of that Sigma.
Good shit, Sheer Cold. Good shit.
And I'm glad they brought it back.
I'm sorry, I want to call out too. Those stats were accurate. Sheer Cold at an 11 KD. Holy. Okay, well, they're off to a great start here too. Able to push back the Mauga. We see this in Metro here. The teleporter may prove to be a little bit tricky for Sheer Cold to be able to walk onto some of these targets, but that's what you've got the Lucio there for. You've also got Cronus. It's going to be able to have those wall climbs with the Kiriko and help try to lock down some of that high ground. Also, the amp matrix.
You know,
said, come
I'm just gonna say this, chat.
Did not get to make any jam. That's really
I'm very happy that Team Peps is getting their fucking ass rolled right now, not because of the Mauga, because they're running Sim.
NKZ,
good.
You're gonna lose the poke war, so
Sim players deserve L's.
And Ben Best likes to play aggressive. He showed us exactly that on the Orisa on King's Row. I just think the Orisa would have more survivability in this case. There's been a
Can't wait until they go argue about that one now.
The health, the cardiac, which now Ben Best is into cardiac arrest, but well, now he's getting stunned up. He is gonna shove this Sigma back, hopefully away from his team. But look at all the ults that come out of Sheer Cold. Gravitic Flux, Overclock.
Sounds like a skill issue, Jay. Yep, it's a skill issue.
Back to heaven. And Team
That's why it's 48 meters to 5.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that is going to help here. Hybrid's able to get the jump there onto Exodeal.
50 meters to 5.
Take out that Sojourn that has just been pumping out so much damage, but the damage has still been done. You've got this push bot that is so close to that objective, and
wait,
you're even going to be able
I'm actually really surprised they stopped pushing the bot. They disengaged. I was really, they could have had the fucking cap.
Wow. Nice rotation too, just to be like, we almost have it. We've got a little bit of a lead. Let's back off. Try to play in this neutral fight.
Yeah, Team Peps really have to be coordinated maybe with the Symmetra. It feels like Ben Best has an idea and the rest of the team has a different idea. Maybe because these flankers
nice shtick! Nice shtick!
Spam onto Cronus. You shut down the ability to use
Surprised he
the
didn't have
Kitsune
TP or
rush.
Kiri.
You know,
Or
the healing.
Suzu.
The lack
It's not
of
like
healing
Kiri.
is certainly going to be felt. They protect themselves at least with the photon barrier, so Team Peps buy themselves some room to breathe. But now that that's down, Sheer Cold reemerge, and Team Peps aren't even here.
That's wild. Symmetra did get a couple of buffs that did not get reverted in this patch. Like, turrets are still going to be a little bit healthier. Teleporter as well, but the teleporter is also so,
in the middle of death.
Oh!
so telegraphed. Like, it's so telegraphed. It's
Oh wait, they had the bot! They stole the fucking bot and they got forward spawn! Holy shit, good fucking play by Will!
The teleporter, they still played
That's
that
huge! In the middle of that
so
whole
it's
fight,
nice to be
he was able to
see
take the
that
bot. I didn't
happen,
even
but,
realize that.
Was that a back cap?
That is huge!
point?
Not only that they got forwards, they got the 8 seconds where the bot scratches his ass.
Japan, OWCS?
That's huge.
Get your counter ready, but
Oh wait, no, it looks like it was just barely there. I think I listen, it's hard to tell sometimes when you're taking a look at the map, but no, that was so close.
oh, he's just coming in like a train. Choo choo, get out of Ben Best's way, but NKZ's just gonna ignore him. Donowall use the grab flex on the rest of the team. FD God salvages it with the sound barrier, but everyone from Team Peps.
It has no ass. What, the bot? The bot has more ass than
HP, exit via
you. Fuck
teleporter.
it.
Hopefully with
Don't
their
make fun of the
lives.
bot.
Not really though. Sheer Cold still up 66-13. 5 minutes left, and there's flashes in the pan for Team Peps with the coordinated Mauga Symmetra thing.
I don't
but
know,
Ben Best
chat.
is back to the Winston.
Yeah, Winston, I think, just gives you a little bit more ability to jump on a target like Exodeal. You also have Yoham that's playing this Baptiste, so a little bit more stationary than what we would see out of something like the Kiriko. But no, that push bot's going. I don't know. I can't believe my eyes anymore, Lemon. Like, this is a very dominating performance so far by Sheer Cold. We still have 4 minutes on the clock, but
Nice beat.
Oh,
wow.
What a great place to take the fight if you're Sheer Cold, like in an area with low
That was a nice
ceilings,
beat to
close
survive.
quarters that this Winston does not want to tussle in. But Strebor still had to use the sound barrier to disengage the team, which is not ideal. But hey, you get to have another fight soon, I guess, and it'll be up to Ben Best to lead that charge. The rest of the team are going left. Team Peps want to crush them from multiple angles. They might have collapsed on some supports. They've isolated NKZ with the bubble, but he gets back up on his feet. Immortality used by Yoham, who got pressured on the initial dive. And Team Peps, they just can't afford to lose people like this. They got to bring momentum. There's only 3.5 minutes left, and they'll have to make do without Naga using the sound barrier. They have NKZ low, but Team Peps can't seem to bring the fire.
this looks like Team Prep's panicking. Like, Naga going over to the Genji off of the Tracer. You're giving up the opportunity to try to mark Will on this Tracer, but like, it also...
That's not a J3 pulse, bro.
So you're just trying to throw some things at the wall and see what sticks. And this right now, it just looks like Team Peps throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this one and hoping something is on the wall at the end of this.
Yeah. XODL trying to paint the walls with this overclock.
Oh.
You guys is jumping from the left to the right, and not fast
Oh.
enough. XODL has been locking it down on this Sojourn. And Team Peps, I mean, they're trying different comps, and I like that they're not too stubborn on one competition that's not working. They're trying different things, but Sheer Cold are just different.
Sheer Cold are so different. I mean, like, they're just like XODL different, I think, is one of the things that's been really impressive to me, is just how mechanically skilled XODL has been in these matches. Like, it's gonna be a big test of strength to see how he matches up against like a player like Kai, for example, right? But this is working out super well. Just Sheer Cold, they might be at an ult disadvantage now, but it really hasn't mattered in a lot of these fights for them. They're just able to kind of do things like that, they snipe out FD God, and then force Team Peps to use ult, but is it enough?
Ooh. Oh, I thought it was a party on the dance floor. Naga had to deal with the immortality, but killing the Baptiste and Strebor is dead.
Good
Sheer
shit.
Cold are in trouble. but Will's pulse bomb killing Benbest. Like, Team Peps just don't have bodies left to even make the most out of this.
They are able to get the cart back, but I think what makes Coliseo so difficult.
It's really interesting to me, chat, when I'm watching teams play,
is that where that
they're not pushing the bot right now. They're regrouping, but I feel like someone could push the bot a little bit still, but like...
those neutrals are always going to go in favor of Sheer Cold. Can Hybrid work some magic with this overclock? It's going to have to be something here to push them back.
Oh, that's frustrating. Benbest went to dive in, gets booped back, and still hasn't been healed. Like, it took forever. Like, he has to pop the primal just to still be involved in this fight. Cronus just has his hands full. There's so many ducklings to worry about. And not getting that last kind of back clap on ExoDial is adding to the frustration. I'm feeling him right now. Team Peps, though, still won the fight, and they're getting close to matching the score. They're down 40 meters, but 45 seconds left. It's last fight.
It is, but that was a good fight to take here. Now they get a chance to work a little bit more on the bridge. Benbest with the Primal Rage was able to disrupt that backline enough in order for Hybrid to get some work done with that overclock. But you're looking at the sound barrier here from FT God. That has to be the saving grace, and it's ExoDial now who has the time to shine. Big accretion into the back too.
Okay, Giga Chat Hybrid with the sound barrier trying to tussle with NKZ, who puts him to bed permanently. 53, I think, meters for Team Peps, and they're barely still caking. Not having Cronus in this fight is just terrible. Sheer Cold, just so coordinated in these fights.
Bro.
Shutting down the Winston, shutting down the Maga. You try everything, and Sheer Cold are gonna dominate, so they take Coliseo.
Wait, Benbest has got the
yeah, the
soccer
girly pop skin.
We love it. Girly pop skin.
Oh,
love it.
there's Team Peps is sticking with the sim again.
Nails emoji, whatever. But Benbest is back to his roots. He said, screw the Maga, I'm going way back, time machine style, to the Reinhardt. What he was subbed in to do, now he could be aggressive, and it won't be his fault, it'll be everybody else's. If your Reinhardt dies, it's not your fault, right?
No, but this is how you get on the same page. Just play a composition that is meant to play together. You've got the Symmetra, you've got the Reinhardt. This is like the London Spitfire special with the May as well. And it could work out here if they're able to just get in there and get some stuns.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll stun them permanently, stop their hearts, and KZ is farming up energy.
I'm actually really interested in NKZ. He's running the Zarya, he ran the Sigma, he's running a lot of different characters.
Oh, you're gonna be so high charged too. Like with the projectile changes with that beam, you're hitting
typical
so
gym bro Twitch streamer. Fuck yeah, I do go to the gym. I like it.
It takes the Symmetra a little bit
I don't know how that's an insult, but
be able to match some of that DPS output.
Going to the gym is healthy for you.
It can be a little bit tough, I think, to try to get on the same page. And even though we got some tank buffs to
yeah, I got insulted for being fit and healthy, chat. Fuck.
You're still gonna be elite with how you actually nail those down.
Oh boy.
Like I said, bro, I feel like the sim community is they deserve all the hate because they do it to themselves. Fucking weird people, man.
Sheer Cold will just have to do damage without him, and KZ is basically a DPS at 100.
Anyways, chat, it doesn't matter. Who cares? They're irrelevant. Let's talk. They're irrelevant like their character. Anyways, Sheer Cold coming out strong here, almost with 5 ults.
They're not coming back to the surface. It's 88%. Team Peps got a touch. Sheer Cold could easily grab them and force them to C9. You could add that to your counter, but they're not going to force them to C9, unfortunately.
No, they can't. They can't touch. I think this is smart recognition from Team Peps. They know that they're gonna have to just go to the next flashpoint. They didn't get any intel until now.
Can't wait for the new Reddit update. I can't wait to read the comments on that if it does. I'm gonna laugh. If this whole thing goes there, I'm gonna laugh.
Just to make sure that they're actually gonna get this rotation into refinery, but.
Also, my favorite thing when I read the comments was someone said that I made a TikTok on how much I hate sim players when it was just me reading the patch notes.
Crazy.
Like, it was just me reading the patch notes, and they thought I made a whole sim TikTok about how I hate them. I don't know, bro. They're so fucking weird. Anyways, chat, focus on the game, bro.
So they got good protection, but what about the thing that matters? Damage. Well, that's all Sheer Cold have with the grab, and there's your death helicopter coming in. That is a great job by Will at the sound barrier, but if everyone presses Q, is it really that good for Sheer Cold? A win's a win, though. Am I right?
You take the win. Just take the W. Just take the W. Take the point capture. Team PEPS did get a little bit of charge there, but they have to go back to the drawing board. Ben Best is going to give up the Reinhardt.
Didn't you do the same for Junkrat? Oh no, everyone knows I hate
Junkrat. We're also going to
Junkrat.
see a bit of a switch up here.
But I mean, the Junkrat community is cool.
And
I'm friends with a lot of them. A lot of them aren't delusional.
I just don't know if Reinhardt's like... is it? I don't think he's him with even just the tiny buffs
like Doomfist players too. I hate Doomfist, but I mean I'm friends with the Doomfist players.
It's not helping. Ramatra, a good way to still continue to play with this team, play with this May.
Yo, Sheer Cold is coming out here strong though, bro. I'm glad to see them.
I'm hearing the cope in your voice, but I'm gonna go with it until they prove me otherwise. But Amp Matrix from Cronus, Sheer Cold do not want to be in line of sight of that 74%. They still somehow have the point. So I feel like Team PEPS are doing a great job zoning, but not taking the real estate that they have assigned themselves to. And a punish onto Willa is a great start. Got that Reaper away from you, and now they can cap the point. But 94% for Sheer Cold. It's only going to take one fight for them to take that round.
Yeah, but you've got this May Blizzard, and this is a fantastic AoE ultimate. It fills up basically the whole point, and if you're able to lock down Sheer Cold into a tiny room, even better, right? So having the Ramatra shield, I think you're able to play around that nicely. It actually, with the Ramatra choice, has forced NKZ to switch. You're giving up all of that Zarya charge, but I think you get more benefit from playing the Ramatra into this composition. NKZ has already proven himself on this hero.
Ooh, Blizzard. Who's frozen? I don't know. NKZ's dead, though. Got walled off. Fantastic job by Naga. And Team PEPS just have to conserve this sound barrier if there were to be another fight. Forced and Death Blossom as PEPS walked in. Will is trying to even up the numbers. And it's working out. T4's Ben Best back. Naga's in Ice Block. Will is doing the Lord's work, but he joins the Lord at the end. 94 for Sheer Cold, and they don't have control. Ben Best is blocking, and he's got some strong forearms, and that will allow Team PEPS to take that
strong forearms. What?
Oh, that was so close. So you saw the last.
This is a good game. 1-1.
To be able to use that Kitsune rush, and while I believe in the Kirikos of the world, especially at this level, to hit those shots, it was a panic to try to be able to get that win. And why would you not, right? You saw your Reaper get a 3K with the Death Blossom. If you also include the Immortality field.
Wait, what? Why did you say I bet my grandma
to even the score to make that even potentially
on Team
possible?
PEPS? What? You're gonna lose your fucking grandma? Oh shit! I'll take your grandma. Fuck it. Does she make cookies?
To be a little bit better to deal with something like
I'm rooting for Sheer Cold.
Because Will has been very lethal with these Tracer pulses.
There's so many ults by Team PEPS. It starts with the Ant Matrix, just to hose down the fire of Sheer Cold. They used the sound barrier when they kind of looked like they were disengaging, so at least they live, but for how long? There's an Annihilation Donk walking towards them. What a wall from Naga to shut the door. You're stuck in here with me. And Ben Best comes out on top. Now, you know, an important thing is the objective, folks, so Team PEPS will cap that.
Are you believing in the May now?
All right. I'm on board with the cope.
No, it's see, like I like to call out like the positives of this May. You saw it right there with the wall being able to isolate a target. The ice block from May still has that buff too, where she is healing a little bit more per second as well when she's in that ice block form. So it feels really nice to just have this May plus the slow from the cryo. Just the general primary fire is going to be helpful to just make somebody a little bit more easy to kill.
Does your grandma have teeth?
They've got control. They almost have 50% before Sheer Cold are going to be able to make an effort on this point, but overclocks.
Overclocks. Oh, no shield for Ben Best. Sound barrier, though. The extra layer of protection, and XODL couldn't slide away. And Team PEPS, well, they get to conserve the rest of their ultimates. and ideally take the point now that they have sheer cold 6 feet under. So Team Peps care about finishing off what they started, I guess, and great immortality in case that pulse spawn from Will were to do something. And Team Peps are still allowing sheer cold to accumulate all of this. Now NKZ,
dude, it's crazy watching fucking healers POVs, bro. Seeing them shoot, rotate, shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal.
The bag. They should have definitely capped earlier.
Oh yeah, that though. Okay, I was wondering what was scarier than a Ramatra in Annihilation, and it's apparently a Ramatra in Annihilation on a Kitsune Rush. You talk about the lightsaber action of the Genji just being able to kind of slice and dice with the Dragon Blade on that ultimate, but I think the Ramatra is pummeling you into the ground. Yeah, you're nothing after that.
It's like a Dragon Ball Z fight, which is punches undergoing like light speed.
Exactly.
All right, that's our next collab, everybody. How do we get
please
Dragon
make
Ball
this
involved?
happen. Oh my god, please.
They would take all my money, honestly.
It's so true, though. If they didn't already.
Well, Sheer Cold are trying to get that bag, too, because they're very close to taking this round and getting themselves to map point, I gotta say. I was trying to find the right word. Annihilation Soundbeer, though. Team Peps.
God damn, Sheer Cold, bro.
Cold, taking back control, being in the driver's seat. Team Peps can't hold on for much longer, so Sheer Cold are ahead by a round.
Yeah, this could be the final round as well. If Sheer Cold close it out here, remember the loser of this map or this match is gonna go home, and you don't want to be ending your tournament run on day number 1. So Team Peps, they've got to bring it back into this one. They have an opportunity to. Maybe it's gonna be Ben Best switching up tanks once again in this matchup to go over to the Orisa. We're playing rock paper scissors now with this tank roll, Jen. It's gonna be the Orisa to beat the Ramatra. Maybe NKZ switching back over to the Zarya or the Sigma or something like that. But for now, Ben Best, he's trying to make this Orisa work here with the rest of the team. Hybrid Naga gotta lock in.
Last time I said it was a comp diff in favor of Team Peps, I was on King's Row when this matchup happened, and it didn't end well for Team Peps. But it's ending well for Exodial, winning the Sojourn duel against Hybrid once again. Team Peps are all stuck in a corner. Sheer Cold, they're on the chase. They smell blood in the water, and it's Ben Best hoping to escape using the javelin well, but they may be staggered, and Naga
no. Sheer Cold wouldn't go home. If Sheer Colds lose this, if Sheer Cold loses this, it's 2-2. I think that what they said is both teams are fighting for their spot to stay. Whoever does lose is going home. Or that Team Peps, if Team Peps loses right now, they're going home. They're fighting for their
Rush, and Sheer Cold do not have the
chance to live.
No,
I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Good aggressive push here from Team Peps. They are able to take advantage of Sheer Cold in that vulnerable position of having a little bit of a late exodeal to that fight. But Team Peps too, like a great sound barrier to be able to actually react to the Kitsune Rush that got layered over the point. So Ben Best is going to be coming up big with this Orisa matchup. Hybrid now having a lot of space, gets that overclock back online, and it looks good so far. Cronus as well. I think the big difference maker between the Baptiste and the Kiriko is like Baptiste doesn't have to play with the team. You can use this high ground and who can actually get you.
Wait, what?
Yep, that's a
Ben Best.
That is a go away moment.
Be careful of edges. Don't be close to those. That's where javelins are gonna hurt, and that's where finally that advantage of the space creation with the javelin helps out Ben Best for once. And if all of that focus goes into Ben Best, Team Peps can just use that to their advantage and hope that they can be elusive and try to get behind Sheer Cold. Meanwhile, it's a couple percent away for Team Peps to force the final round. Kitsune Rush. Oh, Sheer Cold couldn't get there in time. They tried to touch, and it all comes down to a final round to see if
last one, bro.
Take the series, or will Team Peps force a game 5?
Last one, bro. Are those Chaser cheeks in the sub emotes? Yeah, my sub emote. It's Chaser's ass cheeks.
It worked out really great though for Ben Best to lock down that front line, so they actually couldn't get there in time for that flashpoint.
I've had that emote. That was actually one of my first emotes.
See if they can close out that final flashpoint.
Did you just sub because you saw Chaser's ass cheeks?
They just won that fight. They're able to beat Team Peps to the punch once again. If they're
I respect it. Yo, I appreciate the massive new tier 1 sub, man. Diesel for 48 8 months.
Matrix.
Appreciate it.
I think one of the tricky things about this ultimate, though,
Nah, bro
these types
came
of
into my
corridors
stream,
is,
saw
like, who gets
Tracer's
to
ass
use it?
cheeks, and was like, "Oh shit, sub."
I guess he's trying to overclock through it, and then NKZ just
That's
walks
funny
it with
as shit.
annihilation, denies the use of that, and he's getting all the support in the world. And, well, you know, with the sound barrier too, but the whole team was on board, whatever silly plan NKZ was up to. So good first win for Sheer Cold.
Now that's going to be so much percentage as well, just based on how fast these flashpoint maps do tick up in progress. Cronus is right there to get that self reset. Also going to be going to the Kiriko as well. And the Kiriko for Yoham has been coming in so clutch. Whether it's been with those great Suzu timings just to be able to get... Ooh! Okay.
Well, NKZ
No
just
Suzu
got
there.
ended. Hopefully XLDL has the clap back. You know? Okay, the javelin kind of hurt. Dealing with a tank is a lot to handle, even for someone as good as XODL, but 70% plus for Sheer
I was like,
Cold,
what the fuck? Team Peps looks like they're all on the point, and the Sojourn's so far back. How would they not have the point? The stall is insane! Holy shit!
Within pretty much one fight to take the map.
Ooh, I kind of like
definitely
fucking.
one fight. Like if they win this,
I just tasted that
is
fucking
it. Like, Team
Caesar
Peps
wrap.
will not be able to come back, and so this is a great win condition to set themselves up for. Team Peps, they got to clutch up here. They've got to be perfect. They've got to get these 2 team fights under their belt, and they don't have a lot to be able to do that with. Now they've got some ultimates though. That's going to be a quick sound barrier to try to take this aggressive.
Well, really aggressive, and I'm surprised Yoham didn't want to match that with the Kitsune Rush, and is going to pay the price, but maybe would rather take the guaranteed fight than gambling, trading an ult that may not result in a fight win, and Sheer Cold maybe could just stack all their ultimates, all press Q at once. It worked out in the past.
For sure. It's exactly what they got to play for here. The Kitsune Rush is going to give them a little bit of power to engage on this fight and hopefully get something else to work with because they don't have a whole lot right now. Team Peps has the ultimate advantage and they're going to use it here.
Hey, Sheer Cold.
Last
Again,
fight.
it's one fight. Kitsune Rush begins. Who's back here? Ben Best on the flank with Orisa. Terra Surge kills XODL. A big flank. Team Peps making the comeback like
Oh
they
shit,
did
this
on
is actually
Bishan
fucking
Tower
insane.
when things were looking
Oh
dire,
my
and
god, there's
Naga
no
and
fucking
Hybrid
way, bro.
are
Team Peps
locking
actually.
in. Team Peps
Oh!
diffing in the DPS
No,
department.
Team Peps wins!
Matter the
It's a
most.
2-2.
At the finish line, they will not fumble over their laces.
We're
Team
going
Peps
to a map
take the
5,
fight
bro!
And the round and the map to send us to game 5.
Sigma is just so rhythmic. With the shield placement, walking forward, just kind of generating momentum that way. You really have to play it super clinically and super clean. But Team Peps are prepared for this, I think. Like, we've seen Sheer Cold on this map a couple of times now because they've had to go to so many map 5s, particularly versus twice, by the way. They have the most map 5s in this entire tournament so far. But they know. Right, they know XODL is going to be on the Widowmaker. If they didn't know, they know now. And they have to be prepared for those kinds of moments because this is the comp that we've seen Sheer Cold rock out on Shambhala Monastery.
Well,
Oh, shit.
Naga allowed
Okay,
the information. Was probably just going in for a jump snipe. Or a hybrid, whoever. I don't know.
Yeah, Hybrid's off of the Widow now. Hybrid's like, I don't want to take that matchup.
Ben Best Diva? What year
Really
is it?
interesting that they're running a Widow.
Usually he liked the Winston. And
Not
he
a
was
lot of
better
teams
at
run the Widow.
When it came to dive and hoping to fly up and deal with Will and have that flexibility in the mobility department, and you can shut down the Widow pretty easily.
Boxing
on
for
the
9 months.
Diva,
Appreciate it, my friend.
but you have to ignore the Sigma and you have to get around it. You can't play this front to back.
No, I mean, the Diva's so smart, though, just to be able to use that defense matrix to try to bully XODL away. We love seeing kind of that classic counter come back to fruition. But you gotta make sure that you're still coordinating with the team. Make sure Naga is in place. Make sure Hybrid is able to help you. Follow up on that pick if that's who you're going after. The Zenyatta as well. Such a nice target for that dive.
Wow, this has been
Damn,
really
dude,
cool
the
to watch
Genji.
out of Team Peps. Ben Best takes all the attention. He's the first to get demeched, and
Damn,
Naga gets to just go finish off all
Naga.
the low HP targets, get dash
Fucking
resets, and
popping
Hybrid
it.
along for the ride.
Oh,
So great initial push out of Team Peps. They should be able to cap point A shortly. I don't think there's a recontest for Sheer Cold, so great start.
Yeah, I don't think so. You just set up here if you're the Sigma on this high ground. You could even take this first corner if you want, because this is a very tough point here for the attack. You're so defensively favored when you look at like this window, this bend. You've got some great high ground here as well to play around.
Oh, what is Naga up to? His team hadn't even pushed up the stairs, and he almost got first picked. Oh yeah, he's popping off. So I don't blame him for trying to make the big plays, because Team Peps need big plays. And Ben Best goes up to the window to make sure there's no like Widow or anything shooting his team. He just throws his big old mech in the way. And XOTL hasn't had that impact since sniping Hybrid. Team Peps have definitely gotten their revenge, but Sheer Cold have sent them away, and as soon as I flame XOTL, he gets a headshot, gets deflected. So it's hot and cold with him right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be so touch and go, right? Because LP's never gonna be alone, and really
oh shit, chat, someone's calling me, hold up.
Because you have that grapple hook to get back to your team, but XODL's gonna give it up. You use the sights anyway. Gonna go back over to the Tracer, which is unique. We haven't seen this yet from XODL. So let's see what he's got.
I'm seeing a lot of colors, including a Kitsune Rush, Sound Bear, Dragon Blade. I'm gonna go Rap God if I name everything. LP is kicking, and still is kicking, because he used Transcendence to save his life and not Yoham's. The Dragon Blade burst too much. Team Peps halfway to point B. Sheer Cold managing to stabilize, but oh god, here comes the cavalry, and Yoham is dead. Not a lot of healing for Sheer Cold, as Will tries to hold his own, but Team Peps looking for the cap. Wish they would also look for the cart, because they're failing to get that going, and it's going backwards. Someone managed to go get that. Now that Sheer Cold's respawns came back, they started to take back over that fight, and XODL is going to show them how it's done on the Tracer, apparently.
Yeah, you have this defensive window to play from too now. We've seen XODL play this at least once on the broadcast, like did play it on the attack here for Hollywood. It didn't work out for them on that map, but it's looking really great now, and this is another way that Sheer Cold has that flexibility, is just having two very like good flex DPS to play around, just to expand those hero pools.
Oh, as soon as Will jumps out, Team Pep says, that's my time to go in. Yoham is dead, so that means no heals. Team Peps, as long as Ben Best gets back into mech, should be good. Yes, he does. And Team Peps, everyone is on fire. Yeah, it was a bit more of a struggle to get through point B, but the job is done nonetheless. Response could be coming back, but since LP is the last one spawning back up, they're not going to have the speed. Sheer Cold are running as fast as they can for the recontest. They will manage to get there in time, and no big ults to worry about, at least quite yet, but Will is a threat, just peppering them down. Team Peps not wanting to overextend, they just want to play their shelter, these walls, and Will went way too deep against the D.Va, but he's got the support of his healers. But this has been a bloodbath, and Team Peps don't have Kitsune Rush because Cronus died, and FD God doesn't want to gamble the sound barrier. So great clutch by Sheer Cold.
Great clutch, and also some great changes in their composition as well. LP's only played Zenyatta on this map. Nice to know that there's also a Lucio in the back pocket, just to be able to play that a little bit differently. More swaps coming through. Ben Best now going to go over to the Winston, as you do need a little bit of this high ground, just space, anything. Like, the Winston does have this mobility to play with, but we're up against the wire here, Jen. It's 45 seconds left. Team Peps has to get it done here with all of the ults that they have.
We'll see if Team Clutch has it in them, because they pulled through from worse situations. 34 seconds, Kitsune Rush, and I love that XOTL was contesting the card as the Tracer. Team Peps have to make a move, and it didn't really feel like they pushed their advantage with that Kitsune Rush. With the Winston, they're hiding in cover. They don't want to take poke until they're ready. And FD God uses the sound barrier. It's going to amplify his team for the final time of point B, and a pulse bomb from Hybrid. Say goodbye to LP, and I think that might have even canceled the sound barrier, and Sheer Cold just won't be able to dance much longer on point B. So Team Peps clutch after all.
They do, but now they don't have a whole lot of time to work with, and this is going to be the harder point, I think, even still, for Team Peps to take, just with the respawn advantage that Sheer Cold is going to have. But, whoa, big swap here. They looked in the tab, and they said they've got the Zarya, they've got the Zenyatta again. We're gonna go back to our bread and butter. It's gonna be the Reinhardt from Ben Best. And the Mei from Naga just swaps across the board.
If you squint hard enough, this could be like Baby King's Row. So I'm vibing with the Reinhardt. This could be very close range. Sheer Cold don't have speed. So Team Peps have the advantage running a Lucio to gap close. Sheer Cold will not be able to run away. Sheer Cold's advantage is out poking them, having NKZ scale, breaking down Ben Best's shield before he figures out what's going on. And maybe this grab could help out a lot. And ExoDL is has to look for picks on the Widow with this team. This is going to be a tough one. Not a doubter. I'm just stating reality. And KZ says, screw this, Reinhardt. I'm gonna yeet a grab across the country. And an immortality gets placed down by Cronus. So you exchange a grab for an immortality. It's not the worst thing ever. Team Peps are still alive. And dealing with this Will flank is big. Hybrid is getting well protected by not only a Mei, but also a Lucio. Now with the problem out of the way, Team Peps set their sights forward, pin Exo against the wall, and Team Peps will full cap.
So good, the swaps we saw come through there, because like you called out, like Reinhardt's got a shield, Mei's got a wall. Where is this Widowmaker gonna find value? And on this final point as well, if she's not getting picks, you have no point presence either. So I think that Team Peps played a really strong rock paper scissors game there in order to find that compositional advantage. With a full capture as well, there's a win condition on the board for them. Big win condition on the board to be able to win this series, and it's been a slugfest. So many mental games being played.
I know I'm gonna be a hater for a second. I don't love this Widow from ExoDL. I know he thinks he's that guy, but I wish he would be someone else, like a Tracer, or just, okay, well, Will is Tracer, but anything else. It's just not that guy. Or that woman, I should say, I guess. But Team Peps, I mean, just knew that they didn't want to leave that Widow time to get picks. So once they dealt with the grab, Cronus placed the immortality, it was pedal to the metal. And I guess the Reinhardt works out, but I think only on that part of the map.
I think Ilpi has also struggled a little bit, like, as the target for a lot of the focus here from Team Peps. It's just Zenyatta things, right? Like, poor thing got nerfed with the kick. It's a little less powerful and a little less knockback, but I think too it's just like such a static hero with no mobility that it's a little bit easier to just kind of walk onto the Zenyatta or even just force it away with which is something like even the Lucio.
Team Peps are holding close. ExoDL gets off the Tracer to go Widow. I don't think so. At least this Widow is gonna have a hard time, but looks like the front line of Sheer Cold overwhelmed Ben Best after all, and when you have that main protector out of the way, it's all green for Sheer Cold, especially when spawns are that close. You could escape at any time to get healed back to full, so it wasn't easy for Sheer Cold though, and it wasn't clean, but a win's a win.
Yeah. This is one of those maps you can totally do that though, because if you get the close hold, you get another hold about halfway through this point, and then you buy yourself a hold there at the final point as well, versus the way that kind of Sheer Cold played it on their defense, where you get like an attempt, you know, and that's kind of as good as you get. ExoDL though maybe heard you, gonna go over to the Ashe, showed up in a big way on that in the middle two maps of our series, so I think I like this a little bit better too, just knowing that you have some ability to melt the Mei and do some good damage to the process there with those dynamites.
Yeah, I was a bit of a hater on the Ashe because I just thought there were better options, but ExoDL proved to us on King's Row how good of an option this was and how important that Bob was in these extended fights. Glad he could live for that second while I was hyping him up. And he's gonna be on that high ground, hoping to throw the dynamite over that half wall. And so far, they see that Ben Best and friends are extended.
Chat, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and I get a new dishwasher.
Woo! Oh, they were depending on the Naga Blizzard, but that
gotta wait 2 more weeks.
And the Transcendence is a huge boon for Sheer Cold to keep living through this extended part of the
Also,
fight.
why the
Team
fuck did they
Pep's
grab on
running out
third
of
point
gas. It's
when I was
still pretty
watching that? What the
scrappy,
fuck?
And Hybrid's overclock is what ends it all.
I was gonna say, what's scarier than one tank? It's also gonna be like a Sigma and Ramatra together. But yeah, Hybrid. What a huge clutch there with that overclock. Being able to secure that defense there for Team Peps. And there you go. 2 attempts left here to be able to keep this defensive hold as that card starts to walk backwards. Benbest is back now, has that Ramatra. Gonna get that Annihilation up soon as well, and you just get to walk forward. NKZ's now switched to another tank here on the Orisa.
It's the emergency glass has to be broken for Sheer Cold. It's a minute 15 and they haven't even capped the first point yet. Team Pep showed us how the speed run was done. And Hybrid gets another double kill. Okay, Cronus is dead. This is a little sketchy for Team Peps. ExoDL responds with his own double kill and Sheer Cold come out ahead. But will they be able to cap? There will be a recontest from Team Peps. This is coming down to the last couple fights.
It is, and Benbest gets to come back with the Annihilation as well, so that can be very scary as that Ramatra gets that just extra bit of beefiness to have to deal with, and there's no ultimates on Sheer Cold. You're really looking at Will right now to try to build up that duplicate and get some extra sustain there with ult of his own.
Sheer Cold, few more meters away. It is do or die, and it will duplicate. Yeah, this is final fight, and I had flamed Team Peps. I'm like, they're not really good at pushing objectives, more about capping them, and they're proving me wrong. The Annihilation, Benbest dunk walks forward and didn't get the FD God sound barrier that he would have liked. He has the support of Cronus still in the picture. Sheer Cold have their own Ramatra in the mix, and the cap still goes through by Sheer Cold.
This is looking like a good game here, chat.
Big too, with a couple of kills.
Still go, pretty much in 2 months.
Some really
Dude, I can't join the Discord. What the fuck? The link should work.
You get a chance to keep on going. Full cap would mean a map reset here, essentially, to be able to try the attack again on both sides. And
bro, this is a really good fucking game, dude.
Benbest is now going to switch back over to the Sigma.
Hold up, I gotta go. I gotta call back Team Peps manager real quick to tell him to throw the game. So 1 second, chat.
But NKZ has the advantage here with the Terror Surge at the moment. FD God wasn't able to use the sound barrier in that last fight, though, so a nice response to have.
Yeah, Matrix and a Blizzard that works out this time for Naga and in this tiny area. I thought Naga was going to get a lot more value, especially when Sheer Cold don't have speed, but this is so scrappy. FD God has a 2-man sound barrier because he's trying to clutch up and not let Sheer Cold get momentum. But still, Sheer Cold came out ahead, and Team Peps are missing some critical ultimates.
I wouldn't have used a sound barrier there. Like, you would have loved to have that for a recontest on this final point, and now you're only 3. Keeping people at bay with the disruptor shot, but you could have had it.
Match is rigged.
Now it's going to be all eyes on Ilp with this Transcendence online to sink this one over the second point.
Oh, NKZ charging up. Cronus in trouble. Immortality fully
Well, I'm back. Wait, what do you mean, Welp, you're back? What happened? This is a good fucking game, bro. This is a good game, chat. 2.5 minutes. They have to cap or they fucking take the L. They need
they still
the
have
cap.
to work with too. Like,
Or
you
they're
look at the Ash, like that Ash Bob.
screwed.
Bob can come out and do
Or they're
something
fucking screwed,
in this final
chat.
fight. You can lock down a big angle here as well because Hybrid's gonna go over to the Widowmaker. We've seen this before, haven't we? It has not looked great, but there is no Mei on the other side. And the Widowmaker does pressure down this Echo nicely if you're able to get a good angle on her. So we'll see if this is able to play out. But you've got 2 minutes to work here with your Sheer Cold, and you've got ultimate advantage. It's looking good.
Now NKZ can mash just Sigma. And the bomb was thrown early. I guess some space got created, but Team Peps lost Hybrid, and you might need a different choice than the Widow. Sheer Cold are at the finish line. They just need to cap, and they have some extra wiggle room in the time bank if this doesn't work out. Team Peps, the respawn advantage ended up working out in time, and Sheer Cold will have to reset.
Reset, but they had to throw everything they had there. Pulse Bomb goes out just to be able to seal the deal.
What a fucking hold, dude.
Matrix use as well, but
what
a
fucking hold.
FD God moving over to the Zenyatta.
I love watching the fucking duels, bro.
Up for this final engagement, but a couple more swaps across. Like, so DL now trying to go over to the Widowmaker to contend with Hybrid, but look at this amplification matrix and how Yoham has really opened up the fights with just being able to plant that on top of the point. That was brave.
Hybrid is just braver, I guess. Great headshot.
I love seeing Widow duels, bro. Widow duels are so fun.
Sheer Cold. And I just think the defensive Widow has a lot more options to hide and take funny angles. We'll see if Sheer Cold can scout this out.
Ooh, they know now. They know now. FD God also took a big shot to the body.
Hate that. Hybrid at least has backup of his friends. He's not totally by himself. Sheer Cold. Move forward off the Amp Matrix, force Team Peps into cover. Hybrid has sight advantage over Exodial, so he could get an important headshot if Sheer Cold aren't expecting it. And you have to play out in the open if you're Sheer Cold and try to play behind NKZ, who's taking so much pressure. A couple seconds left.
Oh, the other Widow missed the shot. Oh, no!
Headshot for Hybrid paired with the
I think Sheer Cold loses, chat.
Disgusting.
Sheer Cold loses, bro.
We'll keep Team Peps.
Damn, that was a
running.
good
So
fucking series, bro. That was a good fucking series.
Team Peps get to the end and finish off the series.
That was a good fucking series, bro. Okay, friends, YouTube thinks you might like this next video, so let me know if they're right.